WTIM, your ag information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM morning show right here on WTIM, your information station. This time in studio, we have Matt Corso with Kaufman Realty and Auctions. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. Mr. Matt Corso, how have you been since the last time we talked?
I've been great. Yeah, thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. How have things been in the world of realty and auctions? I know you just had some recent auctions. Is that right?
We did just have just over a week ago, we had two real estate auctions. Well, one was real estate and some equipment, a bunch of tools, so a lot of personal property, and then the other was and we did that one live. We did a live auction, on a Saturday, which we don't do a ton of anymore, but we did that one live, and that was a lot of fun. Got a big crew out there, and got to be in front of some people and kind of hang out, and had a local food truck come over, and just made a nice day of it. And then the other one was an online only auction, which we do a ton of those, both with personal property and real estate both, and that was just a home. So it's been good. It's been busy, and now we're getting into some more auctions, some more real estate. We've got some personal property, some really cool stuff coming up. So
all really good stuff to hear right there. And it's nice to hear that you got a live in-person auction going right there.
Yeah.
A lot of these are done online these days, you're saying.
That's right. Yeah. And then for the one that we did live, we still have an online component. In fact, we had two online platforms. So there were people from, I think in total, we had somewhere between live bidders and both the online platforms, probably had about 250, 300 registered bidders somewhere in there. Wow. It gets kind of crazy. And we were getting calls. There was one particular mower that was just really nice, right? And we had people bidding on it from, Canada to Texas to, and then it sold locally, which was great.
Nice.
We like to see that. But, we appreciate that all those other people get involved, and it's just really cool to be able to offer your stuff and have such a wide reach when you do it.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit more about the auction itself and these items, because it sounds like it might be like an estate itself, or someone might have passed away, and then all these belongings have to go. That kind of the thing.
Yeah. So sometimes, we do a lot of that, right? And this one was just downsizing.
Wow.
Somebody needed to move, and they needed to also, sometimes when you downsize substantially, you end up needing to get rid of a lot of your stuff. And that's what we did here. And it just made for a great auction. And, it's not necessarily something that you just want to, you start taking hundreds of items and go, well, I have all these things. They're worth a certain amount of money. They need marketing behind them. They need somebody to take care of this. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting forever trying to figure out and sort through and negotiate every item with somebody to sell it.
Sure. With that type of auction, so many items, you can't just post all those on Facebook Marketplace. You're probably going to lose money on that. If you have someone out there, where is that line where you're not going to sell everything individually? You gotta kind of have an auction like this.
Yeah. Well, I think for people, you look at what's your time worth. Sure. And then what's the value of your items, right? And what we have to do, and how we have to prove our value is simply that we're going to market it. We have a large buyer base already there. Plus, we're going to go to all the right places, whatever the asset type is. Mm-hmm. That's our job, right? To understand what the asset type is, and then to get it in front of the right people. So, because you throw it up on Facebook Marketplace, you're probably not going to have somebody from Canada call you, or you're not going to have somebody from Texas call you and say, hey, I want to buy this. And then can you help me arrange, transportation and shipping and all these things? And that's all stuff that we handle as well, right? Yeah. We get all that in place, get it all set up. All you have to do is, wait for us to get it sold and settled out and things like that.
Sure. That's one of the main goals and the main reasons for Kaufman Realty and Auctions, and for you, Matt Corso, is connecting these people looking to probably sell some interesting items, some items that need a special buyer out there for you.
Yeah. Our job is really to put buyers and sellers together. right?
Absolutely.
And whatever that is, we have to get your asset in front of the right people. I look at whether it's a piece of real estate or a piece of land or, you know, your grandmother's estate. Like my job is to connect the buyers and sellers
Absolutely.
to the right people. So
Emotional connections with these items. Do you see that out there? Is there
there's
any
a ton
problems?
of emotional connections
Yeah.
with items. That's the interesting thing about an auction, and we see that with every asset type, you know, no matter if it's a widget that is mass produced
Right.
or something that's really rare. Like people get connected to it when they own it, and then when people bid on it, once people place one bid, they have this connection to it. Like, well, that's mine.
Hmm.
It may be mine for 10 seconds,
Hmm.
but it's mine. And then somebody outbids them and they go, you know what, that's mine. I
Yeah.
want it again. And so, we encourage the competitive bidding, right? That's
Yeah.
what we want. And that's how we get the most money for a lot of items.
Sure. It's where the electricity comes from in these auctions, right?
Right.
They
Yeah.
can get
Yeah,
pretty
for
fun out there.
sure.
Really awesome. Before we go any further, someone out here might be here, needing your services. Kaufman Realty and Auctions website, location on the square. I know you're out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can find us at kaufmanrealty.com. We're downtown Taylorville, right above Anderson Jewelers. Most of the time you'll find me downstairs in Anderson Jewelers, where my wife is, running the jewelry store there. So we're in there together a lot of times. So you can find us there, and you can reach me at 217-820-0164. That comes straight to me.
Easy to find the Corso team on the Taylorville
That's
Square.
right.
all the
That's
time,
right. We're there all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. How have those two locations been? And it's just in the summertime. You're kind of moving into the school year. I know the slower months, you guys did really well.
Yeah, it's been great. We stayed busy. Downtown Taylorville has stayed really busy, and it's been great. You see so much activity going on, so many things opening up. You've got a lot of people working towards some really good things, whether it's the small town Taylorville group or the Chamber of Commerce. Everybody's pouring so much into our community. The economic development. There's just so many people working really hard to build up Taylorville and kind of our surrounding communities.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about realty in Taylorville and Christian County. I see all the time, in whether it's city council meetings or Christian County board meetings, there's delinquent properties being taken over, being fixed up. What does that tell you about Taylorville and Christian County itself, trying to revitalize these areas?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody seems to be really on board with they're really revitalizing Taylorville. The downtown area has been a huge focus, but it's not just there. It is, all throughout our community. I was just having a conversation here before I came in, talking about a property in Pana and how it's being, repurposed into something, unique and different. And I think we see a lot of that going on. People are thinking differently on how a property can be used and creating these great businesses. So it's great to see. I mean, it's great to see that we're not going to just sit around and watch, properties just kind of get dilapidated, but that we're going to change them into something and, going to make our community great.
Absolutely. That's with homes and businesses. I know we spoke recently with Matt Hart, Christian County Economic Development Corporation. It's like 80% of businesses incoming are looking for an existing building.
Yeah.
I know Taylorville has quite a few of those. Do you see that in your realty kind of ventures there, looking for existing buildings?
Yeah. I mean, I think what we're seeing right now, what I'm seeing is we have more people looking necessarily than we have properties available or coming on. So that's with homes, and that's with some commercial properties as well. Sometimes it's really finding the right fit, matching everything up, but definitely people are looking for existing properties.
Yeah, without a doubt. We have Matt Corso in studio right now with Kaufman Realty and Auctions. Been learning all about Kaufman Realty and then the realty estate here in Christian and Taylorville. We'll have much more from Matt when we come back. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
If you're like most people, finding extra money for your savings just doesn't happen. Hi, this is Jeff Grimmett at People's Bank and Trust, and we have the solution you've been looking for. Sign up for our Save by Spending Roundup program, and we'll round up your purchases to the next dollar, then transfer that change to your savings account. It's as easy as shop, enjoy, and save. Start saving for the things you really want with our Save by Spending Roundup program. Call 888-PBT-1954 and let us put you and your savings first. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Bill Pinkston, General Sales Manager at Landmark at Taylorville. It's that time of year again. We are closing out the 24 models with big discounts and low APR on select models, making room for the 25s that are arriving daily. Mark your calendars for October 3rd. We will be giving away a 2024 Harley-Davidson Street Bob. There will be food, drinks, live music, and a whole lot of fun. And somebody will be taking that bike home with them that night. Fun starts at 5 p.m. and the giveaway is at 8:30. Hope to see you there. Shop us day or night at landmarkattaylorville.com. And remember,
You always do better at Landmark.
This month, you're going to hear a lot of big talk about tax breaks.
Just like clockwork, every 4 years.
But one man can look you square in the eye.
This is radio.
Square in the ear. And guarantee a tax break. That's because Troy Jansen at Jansen's Heating and Air is paying your sales tax on any purchase in September.
And when we say any purchase, we mean it.
This month, Jansen's will cover the sales tax on parts, high-efficiency filters, even a brand-new comfort system.
You deserve to save hundreds of your hard-earned American dollars.
If you're waiting for the right time to upgrade your heating and air system,
that time is now.
Because through the end of the month, your sales tax is on us.
That's not an empty campaign promise either. This tax break is guaranteed.
We're making taxes less taxing through September 30th at Jansen's Heating and Air. Call 562-5201. JansensHeating.com.
I'm Troy Jansen, and I approve this message.
Seeing is believing, and your new customers can now hear and see your message. Deliver your message on our 6 Miller Media Group radio stations. And now, potential customers will see your message on our new 36 by 72-inch two-sided electronic sign installed in front of our Taylorville studios on Illinois Route 29. You have the opportunity of having your message seen by over 11,200 drivers a day. Contact your Miller Media Group account manager today and deliver your message through your potential customers' ears and eyes.
Computer Techniques, also known as CTI, is bringing fiber internet to local homes and businesses. For lag-free internet with speeds up to 1 gig, find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Cousin Bill here from Illinois Paving. Hey, Christian County and surrounding area. Let us do your paving job, whether large or small this year. Find out how we can do your paving project by clicking on the icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back into the WTIM morning show, this time with Matt Corso with Kaufman Realty and Auctions. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We lost connection to our Facebook from the stream to the Facebook there, so we'll get that remedied right after this show if you are trying to tune in the live stream there. Back with Matt Corso here, Kaufman Realty and Auctions. We talked some recent auctions and listings around Christian County and Taylorville. Let's talk a little bit and continue this conversation. Residential resale in Christian and Christian County and in Taylorville. What do you see?
Well, I mean, homes are selling well right now. And there's not a huge amount of homes on the market. There are plenty of people looking to purchase homes, which is great. Which will, sometimes lead to you getting a better price for your property right now.
Sure.
And people worry about things like obviously interest rates right now. How's that going to impact me selling my property right now? Properties are selling pretty well. They're selling at good prices. And then obviously, you look at it and you go, okay, well, how's that going to impact me buying a piece of property?
Right.
And we don't, we can listen to economists. We can, watch what's happening in the world. We can go, well, maybe interest rates will drop here and I could get a better deal, or maybe, next year it'll work, or maybe after the election, and, or maybe we're concerned, like maybe they'll go up or you go down after the election. Like, we don't know. But what I can say is, if you look at the current interest rate and you compare it to how long we've tracked interest rates, we're not in a bad spot. Like, we got really used to seeing these things that were 2%, and or 3%, and that was great. And people got some properties bought like that, but also you seen property values go pretty high at that point. So great for sellers. Buyers were getting money just a little bit cheaper. When we look at it now, property values are at a good value, and that both, I think, sellers and buyers can be happy. And interest rates, while higher than what we had seen, a few years ago, are not in a terrible spot. In fact, they're about average for what we normally see.
Interesting.
And, because of that, to me, it's both a good time to buy and sell.
Okay. I was going to ask if you would call it a seller's market currently.
I don't know if I'd call it a seller's market. But, I think it's a good market for everybody right now.
Wow.
I think it's not a bad time to be looking. And again, I know that, the first thing I really hear from a lot of people is, well, interest rates are so much higher. And yes, they're higher than a few years ago, but you talk to some folks who lived through some other times, and they'll tell you about really high interest rates. And I think we're at an average rate. We can hope they go down. I mean, we all hope they go down, so we can get money and just a little bit cheaper. But I think it's good for everybody right now in the real estate market.
Well, that's good to hear, and it's good to have that cleared up out there. This might be a question for an economist out there, but do you see that a lower amount of young people purchasing homes, or even thinking about purchasing homes? Maybe this is an income and question all in itself there, but have you experienced young people or a decrease in young people buying homes?
A decrease in them? I don't know that I've seen a decrease. I think that in fact some buyers that I'm working with now on a couple of different things are fairly young. In fact, I was really surprised, with somebody who came in, just graduated school a couple years ago, and went was working hard, employed, doing well, starting business, and got approved for their first loan at a good amount. We'll be able to get a nice home. And so I think that we have a lot of buyers in a younger age group still. And what's interesting to me is I think back to when I bought my very first home. And when I bought my very first home, interest rates, I was about 20 years old. Okay. And interest rates were almost identical to where they are now. And that's what I bought my first home at, so I think that there's opportunity for young people. I think that, you have some younger people getting into the workforce a little earlier than maybe not spending, a lot of people going to trade school now and doing some things where they can start their careers earlier. So they're making a little bit more money earlier in their life. So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot to consider there, and it's promising to hear you say that you haven't just seen this massive influx of or decrease of young people going to buy homes right there. So that's all really good things there.
Yeah.
And the interest rate conversation there, that really clears things up. It's not an ebb and flow of interest rate. Is it kind of a steady increase, and you see just slight blips?
I mean, a lot of it comes down to, how the Fed is trying to work on battling things like inflation and all that other stuff. And to me, that's the things that can make it difficult for anybody at any age, any thing they're trying to do is not necessarily talking about the interest rates, but talking about how we're spending money on everything, right? Like the change in prices and those things are what kind of impact us every day, as opposed to sometimes where these interest rates are at. Interest rates are a big deal. But I think that things like inflation and other things are also really play a major factor into how we make our decisions.
Pretty easy to look at an interest rate and point and say it's higher than it was this time. It's a little bit harder to place that on every individual item. That might be
right, for sure. It's so easy to just go, oh, I look at here, say 2018, interest rates were here. Right. Now they're here. Something's drastically wrong, and that may not be the case, right? As far as interest rates go, now you can look at other things, and you can look at prices on other things. And if you have these massive jumps, then you can point to that and go, well, that's an issue. And maybe interest rates had to just try to keep up with some of that stuff. Like we held them down to try to keep the economy going in a certain way. But, other things got out of whack.
Absolutely. Matt, final 30 seconds here. One more time with the website where we can find you out there.
Yep. kaufmanrealty.com. And you can also find us. Our office is above Anderson Jewelers on the square on Washington Street. And you can reach me at 217-820-0164.
Awesome. Matt, thanks so much for the conversation today and being here with us.
Yeah.
Matt Corso with Kaufman Realty and Auctions right here on our WTIM morning show. Thank you all for tuning in.
First, there was a message. Then, just a few seconds later, an explosion. Pagers carried by Hezbollah terrorists in Lebanon blew up yesterday.